In today's story, a college girl meets a guy at an event and humiliates him in front of everyone. She called him a poor bartender, said he was there to serve people like her, told him to stick to making drinks. But 3 weeks later, when his family arrived at the city's most exclusive charity gala, she realized she'd just mocked the heir to a billion-dollar hotel empire. This is a story about privilege, about service, and about why you should never judge someone by the apron they're wearing. Stay until the end. The moment she discovers who he really is, life-changing. Riverside University was one of the top hospitality schools on the West Coast. Modern campus, state-of-the-art culinary facilities, students who interned at five-star hotels and dreamed of running luxury resorts. It was the kind of place where connections mattered as much as credentials. And walking through campus on a Tuesday afternoon was a young man named Alex. Alex Morrison. 21 years old, senior year, studying hospitality management and business. He wore simple clothes, dark jeans, a plain Henley shirt, and sneakers. His backpack was worn. His watch was a basic Timex. To anyone looking at him, Alex seemed like exactly what he appeared to be, a hard-working student, probably on scholarship, someone grinding to make it in the competitive hospitality industry. And that's exactly what Alex wanted them to think, because Alex Morrison wasn't struggling. His family owned one of the largest luxury hotel chains in the world, Morrison Grand Hotels. Started by his great-grandfather in the 1940s with a single boutique hotel in San Francisco, built into a global empire by 3 generations, worth $3.8 billion. They owned 47 luxury properties across 5 continents. The Morrison name was synonymous with elegance, service, and uncompromising quality. Alex was the heir to all of it, but he'd never told anyone. When he'd enrolled at Riverside 4 years ago, his mother had made him a proposition. "You want to run this company someday?" she'd said. "Then understand it from the bottom up. No family name dropping, no special treatment, no shortcuts. You work every position our employees work. You learn what real service means." Alex agreed. So he lived in a regular dorm, worked part-time as a bartender and server at local events to earn money, took the bus, cooked his own meals. And he loved it. For the first time in his life, people weren't sucking up to him because of his last name. They weren't trying to network with the Morrison heir. They either respected him for his work ethic or they didn't. And that meant everything. But tonight, at an upscale networking event for hospitality students, Alex was about to meet someone who very much did not respect him. Someone who was about to make a catastrophic mistake. The event was at the Grand View Hotel, an exclusive venue downtown. Crystal, marble, champagne, the kind of place designed to impress. It was a mixer where hospitality students could network with industry professionals. Alex had been hired as part of the bartending crew, $200 for the night, good money for a student. He stood behind the bar in his black vest and bow tie, mixing drinks efficiently. And that's when she walked in. Her name was Victoria Sterling. 22 years old, senior, brunette hair in perfect waves, designer cocktail dress, confidence that announced she owned every room. She was from serious money. Her father ran Sterling Luxury Properties, a competing hotel chain, old rivals of the Morrison family, though Alex had never met her. And she absolutely knew it. Victoria walked to the bar with 2 friends flanking her. "Vodka martini," she said to Alex without looking at him. "Extra dry, 3 olives. Don't mess it up." Alex nodded. "Coming right up." He made the drink perfectly. He'd been trained by Morrison's head bartender since he was 16. Victoria took a sip, made a face. "This is terrible," she said loudly. "Did you even measure the vermouth?" Alex stayed professional. "I followed the standard recipe, but I'm happy to remake it if—" "Never mind," Victoria interrupted. "I'll just suffer through it." Her friends giggled. One of them, a blonde named Ashley, leaned over the bar. "Don't you go to Riverside?" Alex nodded. "I do, senior, hospitality management." "Oh my God, so you're like paying your way through school by bartending?" "Something like that," Alex said calmly. Victoria looked him up and down. "That must be exhausting. Classes during the day, serving drinks at night. When do you sleep?" "I manage," Alex said. "I bet," Victoria said with a smirk. "Well, some of us are here to network with actual industry leaders, not, work the event." Alex stayed composed. "We all have our roles." "Indeed," Victoria said. "Yours is making drinks. Mine is making connections. It's just how the industry works." She turned to walk away, then looked back. "Oh, and bartender, when you're refilling drinks, maybe try to be a bit more invisible. You're kind of in the way of important conversations." Her friends laughed as they walked off. Alex took a deep breath and kept working. An older man at the bar, a hotel general manager, had witnessed the exchange. "Don't let her get to you, kid. She's Sterling's daughter, thinks the world owes her something." "I'm fine," Alex said with a slight smile. "I've dealt with worse." What the GM didn't know was that Alex had served senators, foreign dignitaries, A-list celebrities. He'd been trained since childhood in the art of grace under pressure. Victoria Sterling's rudeness was nothing. But later, as Alex was clearing glasses, he overheard Victoria talking to a group of industry professionals. "It's so important to maintain standards," Victoria was saying. "You can't let just anyone into this industry. There's a difference between people who are meant to lead and people who are meant to serve." She glanced at Alex. "And some people will always be bartenders, no matter how much they try." Several people looked uncomfortable, but Victoria didn't notice, or didn't care. Over the next 3 weeks, Victoria made Alex's life at Riverside miserable. They had 2 classes together, and every chance she got, Victoria found ways to diminish him. In their Service Excellence seminar, when Alex presented a case study on employee empowerment, Victoria interrupted. "That's a very idealistic view," she said, "but in the real world there's a clear hierarchy. Managers manage, staff serve. Trying to blur those lines just creates confusion." The professor looked uncomfortable. "Victoria, I think Alex's point is about respect." "I understand his point," Victoria said. "I just think it comes from someone who's never actually run anything, who's only ever been on the serving side." Alex stayed quiet. In another class on hotel operations, Victoria made a comment about scholarship students who work service jobs not understanding luxury clientele. Everyone knew she was talking about Alex. She posted on Instagram about the authentic Riverside experience, photos of fancy dinners with captions like, "So grateful I can focus on learning instead of working multiple jobs." Her friends joined in. Alex became known around campus as that bartender guy. People whispered when he walked by. One day, Alex was studying in the campus cafe when Victoria and Ashley sat at a nearby table, deliberately loud. "I just think it's sad. Riverside used to be prestigious. Now they let in people who have to bartend at our networking events." "I know. It's like, are you here to learn hospitality management or to be a server forever?" They laughed. Alex put in his earbuds and kept studying. But his roommate Marcus, a culinary major, had noticed everything. "Dude, just tell her," Marcus said that night. "Tell her who your family is. That would shut her up immediately." Alex shook his head. "That would defeat the entire purpose. I'm not here to wave my family name around. I'm here to learn." "But she's making you look like what?" Alex asked. "Like someone who works hard? I'm okay with that." That's noble, Marcus said, but Victoria Sterling is a bully, and she's not going to stop. Let her talk, Alex said. I know who I am. But the situation was about to explode, because in 3 weeks the city was hosting the Children's Hospital Charity Gala. It was the social event of the season, a black-tie affair where industry titans donated millions to a worthy cause. And this year, the event was being hosted at a brand-new Morrison Grand Hotel, with the Morrison family in attendance.
2 weeks before the gala, Alex was working his regular shift at Riverside's campus restaurant. He'd been working there for 2 years, bartending, serving, even washing dishes when they were short-staffed. On this particular night, the restaurant was slammed, and one of the servers, a freshman named Jamie, was clearly struggling. It was his second week. He was overwhelmed, dropping things, forgetting orders. The head server, Linda, was losing patience. "Jamie, table 6 has been waiting 15 minutes for water." "I'm sorry, I'm trying. Trying isn't good enough," Linda snapped. Alex walked over. "Linda, can I help?" "Yes, cover Jamie's section. He's useless tonight." Alex looked at Jamie. The kid looked like he was about to cry. "Actually," Alex said, "how about I work with Jamie? We'll handle his section together. He needs to learn, not be pulled." Linda hesitated, then nodded. "Fine, but it's your problem if orders get screwed up." For the next 3 hours, Alex mentored Jamie, showed him how to carry multiple plates, how to prioritize tables, how to stay calm under pressure. "This job isn't just about serving food," Alex explained. "It's about making people feel taken care of. Every guest deserves to feel like the most important person in the room." Jamie looked at him. "Where'd you learn that?" Alex smiled. "Someone very wise taught me. She said that true hospitality is about dignity, theirs and yours." "Your mom?" Alex asked. "Yeah," Alex said. "She knows a lot about this industry." What Jamie didn't know was that Alex's mother, Catherine Morrison, had started as a front desk clerk at her father-in-law's hotel when she married into the family. She'd worked every position before becoming CEO, and she'd taught Alex that service wasn't beneath anyone. It was noble. After the shift, Jamie approached Alex. "Thank you," he said. "Everyone else treats me like I'm stupid. You actually helped me." "You're not stupid. You're learning. There's a difference." Jamie smiled. "Can I ask you something? Why do you work here? You're a senior. You could be doing internships at fancy hotels." "I am doing an internship," Alex said. "Right here, learning from people like Linda and you, understanding what real work looks like." "You're kind of weird," Jamie said with a grin. "I'll take that as a compliment." The next week, something happened that Alex didn't expect. The campus restaurant's owner, a woman named Mrs. Chen, who'd run the place for 20 years, called Alex into her office. "Alex, I need to tell you something," she said. "I'm selling the restaurant." Alex's eyes widened. "What? Why?" "I'm 71, Mrs. Chen said. "My husband passed. My kids don't want the business, and I'm tired." "I'm so sorry," Alex said. "Don't be," she said, "but I wanted to tell you first because you've been like family. You've worked here for 2 years. You treat my staff with respect. You help without being asked." She paused. "I'm selling to a corporate chain. They're closing this place and turning it into a coffee franchise, which means Linda, Jamie, everyone, they'll lose their jobs." Alex's chest tightened. "When?" "After graduation, 2 months." That night, Alex made a phone call he'd been avoiding for 4 years, to his mother. "Mom, it's me. I need a favor." The day of the Children's Hospital Charity Gala arrived. Victoria was beyond excited. Her father had bought a table for $50,000. She'd spent $5,000 on a gown, professional hair and makeup. This was her moment. "Morrison Grand Hotels is hosting," her friend Ashley said as they got ready. "I heard the entire Morrison family will be there." "Really?" Victoria said. "I've never met them. My dad says they're reclusive, never do press, very private." "Billionaire private,
Like, we're so rich we don't need to prove it private. Interesting, Victoria said. I should introduce myself. Network, you know. Meanwhile, across campus, Marcus knocked on Alex's door. Dude, you going to the gala? Alex was sitting on his bed, reading. Yeah, my family's making me. Wait, your family's going? Marcus asked. I thought you said... I know what I said, Alex interrupted gently. It's complicated. His phone buzzed, a text from his mother. Car picks you up at 6. Wear the tux we sent. Your father's excited to see you. So am I. Heart. Alex sighed and pulled out a garment bag from his closet. Inside was a custom-tailored Brioni tuxedo. Marcus's eyes widened. Holy shit, where did you get that? Alex said, My parents. Your parents? Dude, that's like a $10,000 tux. I know. Who the hell are your parents? Alex looked at him. You'll find out tonight. At 6 p.m., a black car pulled up. Not a sedan, a Rolls-Royce. The driver opened the door. Mr. Morrison? Alex got in. Marcus watched from the window, his jaw on the floor. The gala was held at the brand-new Morrison Grand Hotel downtown. The lobby alone was breathtaking. 30-foot ceilings, crystal chandeliers, marble everything. Victoria walked in with her father and felt a thrill of excitement. This hotel is stunning, she whispered to Ashley. I know, Ashley said. Morrison Grand doesn't miss. They found their table near the stage. Victoria sipped champagne and watched the room fill with billionaires, celebrities, and power players. At 7:30, the lights dimmed. A spotlight hit the stage. The hospital's CEO took the microphone. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight, we gather to support Children's Hospital, and we're honored to be hosted by a family whose commitment to our community has been extraordinary. Victoria leaned forward. The Morrison family has donated over $100 million to children's causes over the past decade. Tonight, they're announcing an additional $25 million pledge to build a new pediatric wing. Gasps and applause. Please join me in welcoming Richard and Catherine Morrison and their son, Alexander Morrison. Victoria froze. Alexander Morrison? A door at the side of the ballroom opened. A distinguished couple in their 50s entered. Richard Morrison in a classic tuxedo, Catherine Morrison in an elegant gown, and beside them, Alex. But not the Alex from campus. This Alex wore a perfectly tailored tuxedo. His hair was styled impeccably. He moved with the quiet confidence of someone born into power, because he was. Victoria's champagne glass nearly slipped from her hand. That's the bartender, Ashley whispered. What is he doing with... That is the Morrison family, someone at the table said. That's their son, Alexander Morrison, the heir. Victoria felt the world tilt. The Morrison family walked to the stage. Richard Morrison took the microphone. Thank you all for being here. My wife and I have dedicated our lives to building a company that stands for something. Excellence, integrity, service. He gestured to Alex. Our son, Alexander, has spent 4 years at Riverside University, not as the Morrison heir, but as a student, a worker, someone learning the hospitality industry from the ground up. Richard's voice filled with pride. He's worked as a bartender, a server, a dishwasher. He's done this because he understands that our business isn't about luxury, it's about service, about treating every single person, guest and employee, with dignity. He put his hand on Alex. And one day, when he leads Morrison Grand Hotels, he'll lead with the values his great-grandfather instilled. That service is noble, that every job has dignity, and that how you treat people when you think they have no power reveals everything about your character. The room erupted in applause. Alex stepped to the microphone. Thank you, he said. I want to say something about the past 4 years. Victoria held her breath. At Riverside, I've had the privilege of learning from incredible people, professors, classmates, colleagues at work. He paused. I've met students from modest backgrounds who work 3 jobs and still maintain perfect grades. I've met servers who remember every regular customer's name and favorite order. I've met people in bow ties and aprons who have more grace and class than some people in designer gowns. His eyes swept the room and landed for just a moment on Victoria. And I've also met people who use their privilege as a weapon, who judge others by their job titles instead of their character, who think service is beneath them. The room was dead silent. So here's what I want to say. If this donation helps even one person understand that every job has dignity, that bartenders and servers and housekeepers are the backbone of our industry, that you can be powerful without being cruel, then it will have been worth every penny. The applause was thunderous. Victoria sat frozen, her face burning. Ashley leaned over. You called him a bartender. You said he'd always be a server. Shut up, Victoria hissed. After the speech, the Morrison family mingled. Victoria watched from across the room as every industry leader lined up to meet Alex. Her own father was in that line. Alex was gracious, humble, kind, everything Victoria had failed to be. Finally, Victoria made a decision. She had to apologize. She walked across the ballroom towards him, but before she reached him, Catherine Morrison stepped in her path. "Victoria Sterling," Catherine said. "Yes, ma'am," I nodded, surprised. "I'm Catherine Morrison, Alex's mother." Her voice was pleasant, but her eyes were steel. "My son mentioned you." My stomach dropped. "He did?" "He said you've been teaching him important lessons about humility by showing him exactly how not to treat people." I wanted to disappear. "Mrs. Morrison, I'm so sorry. I didn't know." "That he was rich?" Catherine interrupted. "So you only respect people who have money?" "No, because my son worked those bartending shifts because he wanted to. He could have had a trust fund, could have coasted, but he chose to understand our business from every angle, to learn what real work looks like." Catherine stepped closer. "And you mocked him for it." Victoria's eyes filled with tears. "I'm so sorry." "I believe you are, but sorry isn't enough. If you want to succeed in this industry, you need to learn that service isn't beneath anyone. It's honorable, and the people who do it deserve respect." "I understand," Victoria whispered. "I hope you do, because hospitality is about dignity for everyone." She walked away. Victoria stood there completely shattered. The next day, campus was buzzing. Someone had posted photos from the gala of Alex with his family, with the $25 million check. It was everywhere. Comments flooded social media. The Morrison heir has been at Riverside this whole time? He worked as a bartender to learn the business? That's real leadership. Wait, Victoria Sterling called him poor? This is gold. Victoria couldn't leave her room. But it wasn't Alex who'd exposed her. It was her own actions. 3 days later, Victoria showed up at the campus restaurant. Mrs. Chen was there, looking sad as she prepared to close. "Mrs. Chen," Victoria said, "can I talk to you?" "I'm busy, dear." "I know. I wanted to ask if you need help with the closing, with anything." Mrs. Chen looked at her surprised. "Why would you help me?" "Because I've been wrong," Victoria said, "about a lot of things, and I want to make it right." Mrs. Chen studied her. "Can you work Friday night? We're short-staffed." "Yes, absolutely." Victoria showed up Friday night, in uniform, ready to work. Linda, the head server, was shocked. "You're Victoria Sterling." "I am," Victoria said, "and I'm here to learn." For the next 6 weeks, until Mrs. Chen officially closed, Victoria worked shifts, Serving, bussing tables, washing dishes. Her hands got rough, her feet ached, she was exhausted. And slowly, something changed. She started seeing the staff as people, with families, with dreams, with dignity. One night, Jamie approached her. "You're doing good, getting better." "Thanks," Victoria said. "Can I ask you something? Why do you do this?" "To pay for school," Jamie said. "My parents can't afford it, so I work." That's admirable," Victoria said. "It's just survival," Jamie said with a shrug. "But Alex helped me see it differently. He said every job has dignity, that serving people is actually an honor." Victoria felt tears form. He's right.
2 months later, Victoria was studying in the library when someone sat across from her. It was Alex. She looked different, less makeup, simpler clothes, calloused hands. "Hi," Victoria said nervously. "Hi," Alex said. "I heard about the campus restaurant," Victoria said, "that your family bought the building, that you're keeping it open and giving everyone their jobs back." Alex nodded. Mrs. Chen deserved better than to see her legacy become a chain coffee shop, and the staff deserved job security. Victoria looked down. That's incredible." Alex was quiet for a moment. "I heard you've been working there. Linda says you're doing well." "I'm trying," Victoria said. "I'm trying to be better." "Why?" Alex asked genuinely. "Why the change?" Victoria took a breath. "Because I looked in the mirror and didn't like what I saw. I was cruel, entitled, everything my father warned me not to become." She looked at Alex. "You could have destroyed me, told everyone what I said to you, but you didn't." "That wouldn't have helped anyone," Alex said. "It changed me anyway," Victoria said. "Your speech, your mother's words, watching you actually live your values instead of just talking about them." Alex smiled slightly. "My mom can be intense." "She was right," Victoria said, "about everything." They talked for an hour, and for the first time, Victoria saw Alex not as a bartender or a billionaire, but as someone who understood what actually mattered. "Can I ask you something? Why did you work so hard? You didn't have to." "Because privilege isn't about what you have, it's about what you do with it. And I want to build a company where every employee, from housekeeping to management, feels valued, where service is honored, where people are treated with dignity." He paused. "My great-grandfather started with one hotel and a belief that hospitality was sacred, that taking care of people mattered. I want to honor that." Victoria nodded. "I want to do something like that too. I don't know where to start." "You already started, the moment you walked into that restaurant and asked to help."
1 year later, Alex graduated as valedictorian. He joined Morrison Grand Hotels and immediately launched an employee scholarship program, offering college tuition assistance to every hourly worker in the company. Victoria graduated the same year. She didn't join her father's company. Instead, she created a nonprofit training program for hospitality workers, offering free certification courses, career counseling, job placement. She called it Service with Dignity, and occasionally she'd run into Alex at industry conferences. They'd become friends, real friends, because Victoria had learned something transformative, that the people you mock today might be the ones who change your life tomorrow, not through revenge, but through grace. Alex had shown her that true power isn't about status, it's about character. It's about treating people with dignity, whether they're wearing a tuxedo or an apron. His great-grandfather had known that when he started with one small hotel. His mother had lived it every day of her career, and Alex carried that legacy forward, not with arrogance, but with service. And that's a lesson Victoria will never forget. Never judge someone by their uniform, because the bartender you dismiss today might be the billionaire who teaches you what real leadership looks like tomorrow. Money can buy luxury hotels, but it can't buy character. It can't buy humility. It can't buy the kind of respect that comes from treating every person with dignity. That's something you have to earn, the way Alex did, and the way Victoria is learning to.